Tonight at 5, a warning from Madison Streets Division why they want you to take it slow on that evening commute. Also, elections are a massive feat to pull off. We speak with a local official about election security. And a recent report highlights the major changes needed for the Food and Drug Administration to ensure food safety across the country. A closer look at these new guidelines. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Madison Streets Division warning drivers, take it slow tonight. Light snow showers will likely make roads slippery out there. Plows will be out through the rest of the evening and overnight, salting routes and clearing snow as it accumulates. The city's snow emergency remains in effect. Tonight, drivers who have to park on the street should park on the odd-numbered side. So how much snow could we get? Julian Seawright on the weather patio with more details. Julian?
Well, the good news is we're looking at minor amounts of snowfall accumulations from the rest of the snow that's going to be left from tonight's going into our very early Saturday morning. But it's still going to be just enough to act as a bit of a slippery conditions for our roadways for tonight and going into the early parts of our Saturday, especially since temperatures are well below freezing and they will stay that way from tonight's going into Saturday. And on top of it, it's rather breezy as well. So watch for visibilities to be dropped for some areas. So taking a look at our radar, we are still dealing with some light flurries, so those won't show up on our radar, but some more of that snow showers are into the northwest over towards Viroqua and are clearing in the eastern side of southern Wisconsin as we're going into the rest of tonight. Next 3 hours, we may see a little bit more collection around Dane County, but really we're not looking for it to be more than just small, minor, isolated bands of snowfall that's going to be left from this system that has brought in about 4.2 inches of snow just yesterday morning. Now, as we take a look outside, it is a cold and a cloudy night, and it's also tapped on with a little bit of snow. So some may say this is a frightful one, but overall, it is still a wintry wonderland. We're looking at temperatures to slide into the upper 20s by the time we get into 11 p.m., but then those are going to slide back down once we get into the rest of our overnight hours. We're going to take a look at the weekend forecast because it's just a bit of a change and also a chilly start as well. We'll take a look at that in a few moments. Until then, back to you, Eric.
Julian, thank you, and stay up to date on the latest conditions at our First Warn Forecast weather app, hourly forecasts, school closings, road conditions, also your latest radar. Download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC weather. Well, after each election, a handful of city clerks take an extra step to make sure no issues came up. Sun Prairie just finished its process, and political reporter Will Keneally spoke with the city's clerk to see what they found. Will?
That's right. So if you think back to 2020, this is what a lot of those who question the results of the 2020 election were calling for, a full audit. But audits are actually part of the regular process in Wisconsin elections, taking place after each cycle. And Sun Prairie City Clerk Elena Hilby says it helps ensure confidence in the process.
Are matched perfectly.
Those were the results from Sun Prairie's post-2022 audit.
We were very confident and happy to find out that our machines were working exactly as expected.
One of Sun Prairie's wards was among the 368 selected from around the state to be randomly audited after the election, something mandated by the Wisconsin Elections Commission. This year, around 10% were audited.
And they make sure they're pulling from all counties and all sizes.
It works a little bit like how they test machines before the election. The audit makes sure that the voting machines record everything correctly.
So we were looking at it from the tabulator's point of view and not as election officials to make sure it was doing what it was supposed to do.
This is part of the prep that clerks are doing ahead of the spring elections. This past November, Sun Prairie ran into an issue where 2 wards shared a polling location, but voters from one ward cast ballots marked for a different ward. That didn't matter in November because both wards were in the same assembly district. But that does matter in the spring, when those voters could be voting on local races.
Luckily, this is the first time this has ever happened. So we're really happy about that.
And they are updating their process for the spring, checking to make sure that different ballots are kept separate.
But then there should also be a double check when the election official is handing someone their ballot. Just don't assume that because it's in the right pile, but actually look and make sure you've grabbed the correct header code and before handing it to them.
So in total, 21 different reporting units were audited around Dane County, including 8 from Madison alone.
Will, thank you. And the dust is settling after a heated midterm election in Wisconsin, one where Republicans didn't get near their statewide goals, and now they have tapped a longtime party figure to lead them into a fresh start. Naomi Coles joins us to explain. Naomi?
Yeah, Eric. So the chair of a state party really sets the key strategy for how the party campaigns, and to some degree, wins and losses can be at times blamed on that strategy. So the party electing Brian Schimming this past weekend is significant. He's a 30-year veteran of Wisconsin politics. He has a history in grassroots campaigning, and he comes to the position having successes in working across the aisle. Could that mean a change of tone going forward? He says maybe.
I think the tone is driven by meeting the voters where they are, which Tommy Thompson was always very, very good at. It's why he had a record of long success as governor and as a public figure here in Wisconsin. So to me, at its very core, politics is a business of addition. It's not a business of subtraction.
But reframing Republican success in Wisconsin is based on a lot of factors, things like fundraising and growth strategies. So we'll explore those in more depth in our full interview that airs this Sunday, For the Record, at 10:30.
All right, Naomi, thank you. Well, the former Dane County deputy who was fired after faking an attack at a county park has pleaded guilty. Court records show Sarah Borch-Rodriguez pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor count of resisting or obstructing an officer this morning. She was accused of lying about being attacked at a park in Cross Plains. This was October 2021, and then lying to the department's investigators about it. The sheriff's office says dash cam video showed Borch-Rodriguez cut herself and was not attacked. She was fired from the sheriff's office about a month after that incident. Johnson's Sausage Shop is issuing a voluntary recall on a number of its packaged pork products. That recall includes ham, bacon, and pork chops. Those items were sold at a number of farmers markets and retail shops, including Johnson's Sausage Shop, Two Creek Farms, Vindicator Brand, and Wisconsin Meadows. No illnesses have been reported, but officials say the products could make you sick. For a full list of recalled items, look for this story at channel3000.com. Officials say a Madison family is fortunate to be alive after their kitchen caught fire. Crews were called to an apartment in the 3700 block of East Carson's Drive just before 8 Wednesday morning. Investigators say a pan full of food was left on the stove. They believe at some point a child in the home turned the stove back on, thinking it was similar to a toy they had. The family made it out safely thanks to smoke detectors. The Red Cross now helping the family and 4 others who were displaced due to the fire. A downtown bar faces nearly 100 charges of allowing underage patrons to consume alcohol following an incident earlier this year. Police made contact with 143 people at City Bar on State Street the night of September 1st while conducting proactive enforcement of liquor laws. Only 6 of those talked to were 21 years old or older. In all 93 counts, every person was between 18 and 20. The complaint filed by police said that some of the bar goers had multiple fake IDs and that the fakes could have been found with careful examination. As we near the holidays, a trifecta of respiratory illnesses is overwhelming healthcare workers across the country. Health officials say COVID cases, hospitalizations, and deaths are especially high. About 14% of the population is in the high community spread level. Doctors say to prevent a surge after the holidays is to boost vaccination rates. One says the way to do that is to open communication with patients.
We have seen that misinformation and disinformation has disengaged a lot of the conversations regarding health and prevention, and sadly we are seeing the outcomes of that.
In just the first week of this month, the agency reported nearly 3,000 COVID-related deaths. That's the most the U.S. has seen in months. The latest CDC data also shows more than 23,000 people were hospitalized for the flu this week. Meanwhile, free at-home COVID tests are back as part of the White House's strategy for helping the nation deal with the virus this winter. Jared Hill has the details.
After a 3-month pause, the Biden administration is back with its free COVID test delivery program. Go to covidtests.gov and get 4 kits per household sent right to your door.
We preserved the tests so we could have them on hand for exactly this moment.
It's a moment where 90% of the nation is seeing a COVID surge. Cases up nearly 50% in just 1 week, according to the latest CDC numbers. COVID deaths are up nearly 62%.
The good news is this virus does not have the same impact on our lives that it did 2 years ago or even what it did last year.
Dr. Ashish Jha, the Biden administration's COVID coordinator, chalks that up to more treatments, tests, and more people being vaccinated. But according to the CDC, only about 15% of adults have gotten the most recent bivalent booster. Denise San Miguel, whose sister just got COVID, is one.
I haven't been around her, but I was just scared that I don't want to get it.
The push to vaccinate comes as the nation fends off a so-called tridemic: COVID, the flu, and RSV sweeping the country, pushing hospitals to their limits.
We're not mandating that you do it, but I'm telling you right now, it is a great idea to mask on transit and to mask indoors.
Though on at least one front, a silver lining.
There's still places that have very high levels of RSV. You're still, but nationally, there's no question in my mind RSV is heading down.
But doctors say the peak for COVID could still be a few weeks away. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
And the White House has warned its COVID operation is running out of money. The president has asked Congress for $9 billion, but Republicans are pushing back, saying the government has already spent too much. And the White House is working to raise awareness about the PACT Act signed into law in August. It greatly expands health care for veterans exposed to toxic burn pits. The president spread the message today at a National Guard center named in honor of his late son, Bo. It greatly expands health care benefits for veterans exposed to those pits, and the president at that National Guard center discussed the benefits.
I made it real clear to the United States Congress, if they didn't pass this damn burn pit bill, I was going to go on holy war. Not a joke. And I want to thank, we have to thank someone for this. That helps a great deal. It's not here. John Stewart.
The VA began processing claims on Monday and will be able to finalize decisions starting January 1st. The administration says it's prioritizing cases for those with terminal illness. Well, the crown goes to Wisconsin, as in Miss Wisconsin. Grace Stanke winning the 2023 Miss America competition last night. The Badger now gets to show off her Madison ties nationwide. She spoke with our Catherine Merck about what the victory means to her. Catherine?
Eric, she's a Wausau native, is a nuclear engineering student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, a competitive collegiate water skier, a classical violinist, and now she's Miss America. Last night, Grace Stanke beat out finalists from New York, Texas, West Virginia, and Georgia. She is the second Miss Wisconsin in 10 years to become Miss America and the third in history. In our interview this morning, she talked about how much it meant to represent Wisconsin and joked about some of the backstage banter for her state at the competition last night.
It's been so much fun being all across the state of Wisconsin, representing Wisconsin at the Miss America competition. I was able to meet so many people all across the state, connect with individuals, and representing the state of Wisconsin is great because now I really get to test if the cheese is the best in Wisconsin. Because like a couple other states here were saying they've got better cheese, and I said, we're going to check that.
Today on campus, we heard from students and faculty at the engineering school about their excitement for Grace's victory. You'll hear from them and tell you about how Grace is as a student and a colleague. That's next at 6.
All right, we look forward to that. Catherine, thank you. And next at 5, we are in for a chilly weekend. Julian tells us what we can expect. Plus, the pressure is on for the FDA to update its guidelines as a sixth of all Americans face foodborne illnesses every year. And coming up at 6, the Merrimack Ferry closing for the winter to plan that last ride tonight at 6. And the markets close the week with red numbers. The Dow closing almost 282 points down. The NASDAQ falls 105. The S&P closes off 43. And we'll be right back.
Raising healthy children takes a village, and kids thrive when their village is healthy too.
SSM Health and News 3 Now are helping you unlock a healthier world with our Time for Kids Keys to Health campaign. We'll show you how sustainable choices create healthier lifestyles, explore the impacts of food security on families,
and share ways we can help build a healthy community together. Join us on air, online, and in your village, and take time for kids.
You experience so many moments in your home, and Kidde helps you protect every moment. Materials in today's homes cause fires to burn faster, leaving you as little as 2 minutes to get to safety. So check your smoke and carbon monoxide alarms and replace them if necessary. Ensure that you have the right equipment for all areas of your home. Right now, save big on Kidde home safety products at Menards.
Brothers Maine has been family-owned since 1938. Some of us were born into this family, and others chose to join through the years. And we know you can't replace family, but you can replace appliances, and Brothers Maine is here for you when one breaks down. Our in-house team has delivered ranges to washers to refrigerators to hectic households in a pinch, oftentimes the next day. Just because an appliance breaks down doesn't mean you have to. We're not big box. We're Brothers Maine, and we want you to feel like family here.
Hey, there's my girl. Who's that?
Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. Whether you're looking for all the advanced features or something with a lower upfront cost, with Rheem heating equipment, you can stay comfortable even in the most uncomfortable situations.
Oh, come on. Yes, let's go.
Feel the Wohlers difference. Call Wohlers Heating and Air Conditioning today, serving Dane County for over 45 years.
Ready, Dad?
All charged up.
This holiday season, Ford wants to help you shine bright with a special offer. Now choose from a great selection of new Ford vehicles in stock and ready for delivery. Or place a custom order on select Ford vehicles. Lock in your rate and you're protected. I'm proud of you, kid. And that's how Ford is helping you shine bright. This season, get into a 2022 Explorer SUV with 2.9% financing for 60 months at your local Ford dealer and shine bright.
Ahead at 6, from Miss Wisconsin to Miss America, a Badger student is taking the nation by storm.
We catch up with Grace Stanke to discuss what future endeavors she plans to add to her already impressive accomplishments tonight at 6.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team gets results.
We're taking action for you.
Nearly 700 cases closed, more than $500,000 recovered, and we're not finished yet. When you need help, call for action only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. An estimated 48 million people get sick from foodborne illnesses every year in the U.S. A recent report highlights the major changes needed at one agency to ensure food safety across the country. Mandy Gaither explains.
It's been nearly a year since certain lots of infant formulas were recalled after reports of bacterial infections. This exacerbated a supply chain-caused formula shortage that extended to other brands. One formula maker told Reuters the shortage is likely to persist until spring.
Being assured that we have a safe food supply is important to everyone.
Dr. Jane Haney chaired an independent expert panel that conducted an evaluation into the Human Foods Program, which is overseen by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, an agency she once led. While the U.S. food supply is generally recognized as safe, Haney says there are 3 major findings in the report. First, the food safety program needs to be enhanced. Second, the FDA's nutrition program, meant to provide greater access to healthier foods and nutritional information, needs to be built out and enhanced. Finally, the agency needs to focus on prevention instead of waiting for something to happen.
More prone to action than deliberation, if you will.
The report says connecting FDA technology for better communication is key. Haney says there also needs to be more funding for the Human Foods Program.
Getting the adequate amount of funding for this program is just, I've used the word crucial and I'd underscore it again.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The commissioner of the FDA says the agency will inform the public about how it's moving forward on the panel suggestions by the end of January. Well, some flurries took over our evening commute, but how does the weekend look? Julian Seawright with your complete forecast. Julian?
Well, the weekend's looking to shape up rather nicely for us if you like the sunshine but can deal with the cold, because it's going to be rather chilly to start for our Saturday. We're going to see temperatures in the mid-20s, but we do have some breaks in our cloud cover. By the time we get into Sunday, finally breaking that streak of overcast for us here in southern Wisconsin. We're looking at sunshine to really start for our day, but we could see a couple of flurries early for Saturday morning, but it's not going to really amount to anything. But be prepared for some breezy conditions throughout the Saturday as well. Now let's take a look at what we're seeing right now on our surface map. We still have a bunch of broken up snow showers throughout much of the upper Midwest, starting to cross its way into Lake Michigan. As the system is starting to exit its way out of the upper Midwest, behind it we're going to be seeing colder temperatures and still some remnants of flurries thanks to those upper level troughs. But outside of it, things are not going to be shaping up to be nearly what they have been over the last couple of days. We're looking at light snow showers really into the further southwestern areas. But for Dane County, we're just holding on to flurries as we continue throughout the rest of this evening. The next 3 hours may see a couple of collections of some small bursts of snow showers, but overall it's going to be a minor accumulation, if any at all, as we get into the rest of tonight. So as we walk throughout the rest of our Friday evening, it's going to be cold and it's going to be breezy. Temperatures will be into the middle 20s, warm up just a tad bit as winds start to shift a tad, but outside of it, as they're still coming in from the west, we're looking for those winds to really start to pick up and then die down once we get into the overnight hours. Saturday morning, cloud cover is going to stick around. Temperatures in the mid-20s, but we're only not looking at a couple of flurries, not looking at much in terms of activity throughout our Saturday. Saturday afternoon, still going to stay rather cold for us, but once we get into our evening hours, it's going to be even colder. Teens will start to roll in, starting from Viroqua, and then as we head into the overnights, transitioning into our Sunday, we're looking at those teens to really be sticking around for us as we get into our Sunday morning. But the good news is we're looking for our cloud cover to start to break up. Winds will still be on a nice pace, but it won't be too much of a hassle as we go on throughout the rest of this weekend. But the good news is it's going to be rather quiet until we get into our Saturday nights, where temperatures are going to be very cold. We're looking at single-digit temperatures for us by the time we get into Sunday nights, transitioning into our Monday. So be prepared to be wearing layers, folks. Outside of that, any other snow that we're going to be looking at from tonight's going into Saturday morning is going to be very trace amounts. Viroqua may see a couple of inches, but what we're watching for is going to be next week. That could potentially bring in another system of some snow for us that would be rather significant. It could hinder even travel, but again, emphasis on the could. There have been some disagreements from models as we're watching from Wednesday going into our Thursday and for Friday of next week, because that's one run that was bringing in a big system of snow, but another run where it's not really going to be amounting to much between the same timeline that we just showed. But here's a look at our 10-day forecast. Outside of us seeing potentially some snow next week, it is going to be cold. Once we go into Tuesday, we're looking at the teens to hold firm, a couple of opportunities to see single digits all the way up into the holidays, where even overnight temperatures will be below zero. So make sure that you're prepared for a cold week ahead, because it's going to be rather unseasonable for this time of year. The belt line is still seeing some slow spots as we are looking at some slick conditions thanks to the flurries and light snowfall. So make sure you're giving yourself extra time and you are taking it slow. That's going to do it for our weather and traffic. Back to you, Eric.
Julian, thank you. A local Madison tap room is changing hands. Funk Factory Gezzeria will become Black Rose Blending Company next month. Levi Funk has operated the Funk Factory since 2015, but he says he is selling the bar and brewing equipment to longtime employee Kyle Metz. The new facility will primarily offer products similar to the funky barrel-aged sour beers and explore variations of wines and ciders.
So it's kind of just been a natural progression and a build-up, and it's exciting to, you know, do it for myself and incorporate ideas that maybe didn't fit in with, you know, the Funk Factory branding or, our beer-making ideology.
The Funk Factory Tap Room will be open for normal hours Thursday through Sunday through its holiday party on December 30th. After that, it'll close for renovations until they're complete tentatively in March. And we'll be right back.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I became an orthopedic surgeon for a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons.
To help you take walks again. To ease your pain.
To rebuild your strength.
And at every step along the way,
we take the time to answer all your questions.
We're here because we care.
We care about you. You.
You.
They care about me.
Sauk Prairie Healthcare Orthopedics, now offering robotic-assisted knee replacement.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
If you or a loved one were stationed at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987 and were later diagnosed with cancer, Parkinson's disease, or other serious health effects, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Call right now to find out if you qualify.
Call 1-800-336-0524. 1-800-336-0524.
Stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes to an hour. I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. When I met Dr. Ginniker and he introduced me to Power Swabs and I saw how effective they were and how easy they were to use, I knew we had to share it with the world. Power Swabs was clinically studied to whiten natural teeth as well as stain caps, crowns, and veneers. It's so effective, it works on stains caused by coffee, tea, red wine, and even smoking. For those of you who have that one stained tooth that's darker than the rest, Power Swabs can target that area using swab precision.
My favorite thing about the Power Swabs is that I was actually able to take the swab and really get through some of those areas that are kind of like untreated. I felt like I can immediately see the results, and I'm like, oh, I'm definitely starting to see the shades getting brighter and brighter, or whiter and whiter.
If you have yellowing between your teeth, if you have coffee or tea stains near your gum line, just Just snap, swab, and smile. And in each 5-minute application, you'll see whiter teeth. So stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays and start using the Power Swabs 5-minute solution.
After just 7 days, the results were awesome. Power Swabs was easy to use every day, and each day I could see it better and better, and from beginning to end, it's definitely whiter. They look clean, they feel clean, and people have made comments about it, which is nice.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. This holiday season, order Power Swabs and receive up to 40% off. And as an added bonus, get a free Power Swabs Quick Stick Pen with your order. The Quick Stick Pen is your on-the-go solution to help prevent stains from adhering to your teeth after drinking coffee, tea, or even after smoking. And in addition to saving up to 40% on your purchase and your free Quick Stick Pen, get free shipping by ordering now. Dial the number on your screen or visit powerswabs.com today.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
There have been a lot of economic numbers this week, and not all of them are pointing in the same direction. So what do the headlines mean for your household budget, and what should you keep in mind for the home stretch of the holiday shopping season? Karen Kafa has more.
Fresh data in the final stretch of the holiday shopping season, adding to a mixed economic picture.
We knew at the onset of this holiday season it would be anything but typical.
The Federal Reserve again raised interest rates this week as plans to cool the U.S. economy appear to have an impact. New government numbers pointed to inflation easing in November, but still more than triple the Fed target of 2%.
Even though the inflation news is getting better, it's not yet good.
A Commerce Department report showed retail sales dropped 0.6% in November despite Black Friday and early holiday deals. But retailers still anticipating a 6 to 8% increase in holiday sales over last year, looking at strength in the labor market and other areas.
What's causing that, I think, is that there has been gains in both jobs and wages, and there's still the availability to use the backlog of savings, although it's dwindling.
Higher inflation has forced some Americans to tap into savings accumulated during COVID lockdowns, and Federal Reserve numbers showed an increase in credit card balances during the third quarter, up more than 15% over 1 year ago. Mark Hamrick of Bankrate worries what the end of 2022 could mean for 2023.
Well, I have a high level of concern that at least a large number of consumers are going to enter 2023 with a holiday spending debt hangover.
His recommendation for the new year holds in any economic climate. Aim to save for emergencies and retirement and pay down debt. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
And we're back with a final check of your first warn forecast after a short break.
If you overdraw your account, Wells Fargo gives you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with a grace period? Like accidentally parking where you shouldn't.
Hey, what about this one? Nah, that one gets an extra day. Somebody got lucky.
Like having an extra day grace period? When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Who am I?
Wow, is that really me?
Hi, I'm Annette, and I'm an actress. Under-eye bags and wrinkles are so frustrating. They're so hard to hide and so hard to get rid of. I came across Plexiderm, and I was so excited. We have a model. His name is Richie, and all he's doing is taking a small amount. It's so powerful. That's all it takes. And what I love about Plexiderm is this is something that you can do in the convenience of your own home. And I did this to my father. We were at home, so we applied it to his under-eye bags, and let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view, and now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. He calls me every single month saying, hey, Annette, I'm out of Plexiderm, please send me more. It's a cream, it's a topical. It literally creates an invisible layer that tightens the skin and smooths it out. All you do is gently rub it underneath your eyes, on your fine lines and wrinkles, and it visibly disappears in as little as 10 minutes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera.
This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
I can't even believe that this worked. I was a little skeptical, I am not going to lie, because I saw people online with it. I'm like, yeah, right, that can't possibly work. I'm telling you, it really works.
I thought I might see a little difference, but to see that big of a difference, I have so many dark circles, I have the puffiness, I have the lines, like, it's amazing.
You have an event, you have any of those moments where you want to feel the best about yourself, I'm telling you, the videos that you see on social media and TV are real.
This holiday season is the best time to try Plexiderm at our startup price of only $14.95. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
At Chevy, the holidays mean going places and doing things you love to do with friends and family. Visit your local Chevy dealer, and when you find your red tag, you find your deal. Then make the most of your time with the people who matter most. Find new moments, find new roads. Find your red tag and get $1,500 total cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $2,500 cash allowance. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
On this Friday night, heavy snow expected to pummel millions in the Northeast this weekend. The forecast, plus the fast approaching deadlines to get your gifts delivered in time for the holidays. What you need to know. And how one act of kindness helped pave the way for the American dream. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And Julian's back as we take a final check of the forecast.
Well, things are going to get cold, but we do have one more opportunity to not just be cold, but to see some snow heading into next week. But we got to watch how that may develop, so make sure that you are paying attention to the forecast once we roll into the holiday week, because it could hinder some travel plans as we get into closer to the holiday. Outside of that, this weekend, we're going to finally see some sunshine by the time we get into our Sunday, and then overcast is going to be returning by the time we get into our Tuesday.
But wow, that is chilly.
Yeah,
coming our way. Julian, thank you. Well, we're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned for the CBS Evening News.